My name is Kaitlyn Schmid, and I am here today to talk about Princeton University Soccer Stadium, otherwise known as Roberts Stadium. Roberts Stadium opened in September 2008, taking place of the former field known as Lori Love. I chose this as my facility visit to examine the planning that went into the stadium using Chapter 4 of our text, as well as two different peer-reviewed articles. I am excited to discuss with you the planning for the stadium through the eyes of a facility manager. In Chapter 4 of Managing Sport Facilities by Gil Fried, it states, future facilities raise numerous concerns such as where to build and how to pay for the facility. Only through effective planning can a facility be developed. An $8.4 million fundraising effort by alumni and friends of Princeton soccer was how this stadium was built. Thomas S. Roberts was a member of the men's soccer team in the class of 1995. He and his wife, Kristen, were the leading donors to this project. The new playing field was in memory of Robert H. Milslick, a former soccer player, teacher, assistant Princeton soccer coach who was killed in an automobile accident in 2003. This inspired many friends and colleagues to join in on the fundraising efforts. Major support also came from Andrea and John H. Lepore, who was a member of the soccer team as well. Together, their challenge pledge resulted in $2 million efforts toward the entire fundraising activity. In all, more than 40 alumni and friends contributed to the fundraising efforts of Roberts Stadium. Fried also states that planning for an existing facility entails examining the current use and future potential uses. Such planning includes coordinating maintenance schedules and personnel. He goes on to discuss that the planning starts with an analysis of existing internal and external stakeholders. Internal stakeholders are the people who will use the facility, such as athletes. For example, Princeton University had to plan where the soccer teams would play and practice while Lori Love Field was being completely renovated and turned into Roberts Stadium. The managers of this facility determined that the construction process would take an entire year, and therefore the teams for the season of 2007 played here at Princeton Stadium. The first article I read was titled, How Construction Trends of University Sport Facilities Will Be Affected by Financial Crisis, a survey by Antonio J. Monroe Anton, Gemma Cez Rodriguez, and Carlos Cordente Martinez. According to the article, the most important trend in the last 50 years in collegiate sport facilities is the renovation of older facilities. The estimate of $4.9 billion investment in the U.S. is a clear sign that this sector was in good shape. However, the financial crisis that has been isolating the world in the recent years might have not only changed the scenario of new constructions, but also the sources of finance available to them. However, the survey portrayed that the financial crisis will not affect the use or construction of sports facilities. More than 50% of the respondents thought that the construction or renovation will increase within the next 3 years. It is significant to note that the managers of those facilities, possibly the people who have better information about their use, show the highest rate was 75%. They see the crisis affecting more to the public expenditure rather than to the user's consumption. Financial concerns are a big part of the planning and development of sport facility, and Princeton University had a clear goal to meet in order to construct Roberts Stadium, and they were able to meet this with no problem. The second article I read was titled Planning Facilities, Master Plan, Site Selection, and Development Phases by Thomas H. Sawyer, Michael G. Hypes, and Ganya L. Gimbert. The article states that some of the common errors that might have been made in the past included failure to plan for adequate parking for the facility and failure to provide satisfactory space for a loading dock. This is the only parking lot provided for Princeton University. At times, you can have on a typical Saturday a football game, a soccer game, a field hockey game, and a cross-country meet, with only one parking lot allotted for all events. This includes home and away fans, and not to mention the other activities that could be going on campus that day. This is clearly poor developmental planning. This is the area where buses for away teams, media trailers, and loading docks all park. This tiny space is basically a makeshift parking zone. This is also the area where parents pick up their children from after-school activities that Princeton provides. In my own experience, I have been here to pick up a friend from work and was completely trapped when trying to exit because of a bus parked in the middle of the lane with no way to move around him. Another poor area of planning. The article also discusses a site analysis. The planning committee will need to consider various pieces of information prior to selecting the building site. The considerations for site selection include 1. Access to the site selection, 2. Climatic conditions, 3. Supporting demographics. As you can see from the parking lot, there is an adequate site access with a well-paved path to the field. However, there are no directions or signs to guide you there. Regarding climate conditions such as rain, most stadiums are built on a flat surface with a crown at center field to assist in water runoff. However, Roberts Stadium features a vertically drained natural grass surface. Last, the stadium is clearly built with the supporting demographics in mind. Princeton is a prestigious area that is also filled with proud alumni. The design and construction of Roberts Stadium kept this in mind with the beautifully equipped resources, design, and facility, at the same time keeping it kid-friendly. I thank you for tuning in to my facility projects on Roberts Stadium here at Princeton University. I hope you enjoyed it and you were able to learn something new about facility planning.